There are many social constructs that we as humans have developed over time as our norm. Seldom do we question such constructs or stray away from them. One very prominent construct that society often glorifies is suburbanization. In the 2022 film Don't Worry Darling, actress and director Olivia Wilde deconstructs these ideals through a lens of how the film's simulation reflects real-life anxieties. According to eBrary.net, in an article titled The American Suburban Dream, subsidized by government loans and low-cost mortgages, the American suburban single-family house is now the archetypal consumer commodity. Although mass consumption symbolized patriotism, social equality, and the American dream, in practice it fueled economic inequality and the gendered, classed, and racial division of society. Women's negative experiences of suburban privacy were revealed as suburbs were gradually acknowledged to be suffocating and oppressive. In Don't Worry Darling, the result of these anxieties becomes prevalent as the main character Alice, played by Florence Pugh, starts to realize that her perfect life is neither real nor perfect. In the film, the young married couple Alice and Jack are living in the most generic suburban city, but instead of actually being in a literal suburb, it is a lone standing city in the middle of the desert. The women are convinced that their husbands took a job that requires them to move to this seemingly utopian experimental town, only to be unaware that their husbands actually trapped them in a simulation. When the men go to work, they are actually re-entering the real world, where they are nourishing their wives' bodies. After Alice figures out the truth, her husband Jack admits to his actions and explains that he did it for her because of her discontent with her real life.
You took my life.
No, I saved your life.
It's not true.
No, listen to me.
Not true.
You worked all the
I
time.
wanted to work. I loved working. What?
You were miserable. You were so unhappy. You hated your life.
It was my life. My life. You don't get to take that from me.
I gave this to you.
In the simulation, the women assume a tradwife role. Tradwife is a term that our society uses to describe a woman who romanticizes the 50s lifestyle, where a woman is meant to be a stay-at-home wife or mom and do all the cooking and cleaning while the husband goes off and works and is considered the breadwinner. In today's society, this lifestyle sparks a lot of controversy. Why is the lifestyle so problematic? Well, People magazine suggests critics have called out the problematic nature of romanticizing a time when women became housewives because they didn't have the option to work outside the home. Many also bring forth the concern that those showcasing their tradwife lifestyle might be undermining the progress women have made towards individual rights, backpedaling towards gender inequality. As the previous clip reveals, Alice did like her job and her ability to work, and rather choose that freedom over a fake perfect life. Things begin to go sideways when Alice notices a plane crash and decides to run towards it, even though it is past where she's allowed access. She in turn discovers a random building that, when you touch it, you become conscious again in the real world. Before gaining consciousness and upon touching the building, Alice sees a bunch of random ballet dancing clips that were used to brainwash the women. This building represents what is called the edge of construct, or the in-between reality of the simulation. To me, the message of the film is clear, but in order to know for sure, we may need to know Wilde's inspiration first. In an interview with Vogue magazine, Wilde describes Don't Worry Darling as the feminine mystique on acid. Feminine Mystique being a book by Betty Friedan that challenges the idea that women can find fulfillment solely in housework and motherhood. Vogue continues, a dramatic departure from the goofy teenage world of Booksmart. Even so, she sees both films as part of an ongoing project to examine female experience from multiple angles. The focus of her first movie, she says, was friendship and judgment and exploring insecurity. The new one is asking the question of, what are you willing to sacrifice in order to do the right thing? If you really think about it, are you willing to blow up the system that serves you? The idea for the film crystallized shortly after Trump's election, when Wilde met Gloria Steinem at this little gathering in New York City. Wilde was despondent. She asked Steinem what she could do. "Stop paying taxes," Steinem told her. Wilde was aghast. I said, "What? I own property. I have kids. I don't think I can do that." Then it hit her. She says, "This is why nothing will change. That was the beginning of Don't Worry, Darling." I was like, who's the person that will actually destroy the structure that is built entirely for their comfort? That's a selflessness on a level that I admire, but admit is far from the way I would live my life. According to Hollywood Reporter, while Wilde has cited mindbenders like Inception, The Matrix, and The Truman Show as inspiration, only the last of those comes to mind while watching alongside the Stepford Wives. But the film has just as much in common with the blunt social commentary of the shows like Amazon's Them or movies like George Clooney's Suburbanization, which wrenched fear and alienation out of Black trauma while finding nothing enlightening to say about it. In the film, everyone makes Alice feel like she's having a mental breakdown. Alice begins to feel isolated and unheard. She also begins to wonder if she might be going crazy and tries to dismiss it. Once she starts to catch on to what's going on, she becomes enraged and frantic. Her emotions represent how it can feel for a woman to feel isolated in a position that's presented as utopian. The National Library of Medicine did a study focusing on gender roles, where they state, "Gender roles as social constructs play a significant role in shaping individuals' beliefs and attitudes, influencing various aspects of life, including perception and expectations surrounding motherhood. These beliefs acquired through culture and society can have impact on our mental well-being. Their results indicated that the individuals who embraced non-traditional attitudes towards both gender roles and motherhood beliefs tended to exhibit better psychological well-being in all subsamples. Additionally, women generally showed lesser alignment with traditional attitudes towards both gender roles and motherhood beliefs compared to men. However, women reported higher rates of depression and anxiety along with lower psychological well-being scores than their male counterparts. Wilde's film Don't Worry, Darling illustrates many real anxieties that women have surrounding gender roles. The film emphasizes the idea that the suburban white picket fence lifestyle might seem ideal but also becomes suffocating and limiting for some women and can impact them psychologically. Wilde dismantles the idea that suburbanization should be romanticized as the best way of living. There is no one lifestyle that is suited to everyone, and everyone should have the choice to live how they want and not how society or someone else tells them they should.